What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 20 different altcoins in this video. All of these coins are at the request of you, the viewers, people who left comments saying, hey, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? That's what this video is. No, I don't just do crypto. I do stocks as well. So if you want to do stocks, we can do that. Obviously, this is just a crypto video. There are stock requests that I'm going to go over tonight. That'll be a separate video, a lot shorter of a video. Most people on the C-Zar Gets Crypto YouTube channel, they want to go over crypto, right? As do I. But I don't mind stocks, right? Like early on in this channel, I remember people were like, I'm sorry it's a stock, but could you do this? And it's like, dude, don't be sorry. Don't feel like you have to apologize if it's a stock. I don't care if it's a stock, a commodity, if it moves up 1% every month, if it moves up 100% every hour, like whatever it is, we'll talk about it. If it's interesting to you, it's interesting to me. Or it might be interesting to somebody watching this video, and that's the whole point of doing requests, right? So feel free, leave your request. Hell of a long intro. Let's get into it, guys, without wasting any more time. I will leave a list in the description below of all the coins that we're talking about today. 20 different coins. We're going to kick it off with XNO at the request of Mr. Hat and get going here. Mr. Hat, this is the most historical data that I could find, but Nano, I remember this back in the 2017 craze, right? So this chart here is not an accurate representation. We're missing an all-time high that happened back here, right? So it did have a lower high on its prior cycle, but it did maintain higher lows. So I think that's something that's important to note, right? Low here, higher low here, high here, higher high here, so lower high, higher lows. It's been consolidating, right? Much like a lot of OG coins from back in this 2017, 2018 era, right? A lot of coins are kind of getting lower highs from the last cycle, yet higher lows from the recent bear cycle, right? So it remains, the reason why I'm going over this is that it remains to be seen if this thing will see new all-time highs, right? That's kind of the question in mind. Will it see new all-time highs? Because I would expect if you break above your last cycle's high, you probably will see new all-time highs. But that's the question. Will you actually do that, right? So let's see what your market cap is right now, fully diluted valuation. You're there, man, right? You don't have an unlimited supply. At least that's what it looks like to me. If we look at the tokenomics, no tokenomics for that data. I don't get it. Why? Well, you've been around for so long. How do we not know your tokenomics? It's a red flag to me. 24-hour trading volume, 1.4 million. Market cap's that. It's not the best volume, but whatever. We're not in exciting times right now. It's not the worst either. It's not the best. Okay, we'll just be blunt. It's basically it's a lot less than you'd like to see, but it's okay, right? That's a lot of crypto right now. I'm not going to get hung up on that too much. XNO, I'm not 100% sure it will see new all-time highs, okay? I'm not 100% sure it will. Nano has been, to me, it's been kind of out of the mix for cryptos recently, so I'm not sure it will see new all-time highs, but maybe it does. It's possible, right? It did have higher lows. That's something to note, right? Higher lows from bear cycle to bear cycle, right? But from a high to low here, I certainly would expect that you would at least interact with your 61869 area, at least there, if not your 786, 886 area, and you could potentially go higher. That puts you at $45 at a minimum. If you were at $45, I mean, that would be new all-time high. So that makes sense, because if you were to break above this high, I would think that you would go to new all-time highs, and that checks out for $45. I'm not 100% sure if that is your all-time high, right? I don't have it. Maybe on the candles it'll tell me. All-time high is 33.69. That's what it says on the candles. 33.69. I don't know. There's no other way to get that. Anyways, yeah. So that makes sense. If it were to see new highs this cycle, it could. It'd have to get above $11.88 first, though. You're at 88. You're basically at 89 cents right now. Your minimum target again, 61869 area, around $4.65 to $5.99 from the current price. That'd be a minimum target. And I'm talking about by the end of this cycle, right? Not by the end of this move. I'm talking about by the end of this cycle. About 400% to 575%, maybe 13x, right? At the end of the cycle, maybe just a 9x, which is still awesome. But I'm not 100% certain, again, right? Because this is such a, it's not a new coin. It's just kind of an unknown with the coin, right? Because it had a very phenomenal upbringing, and then it was very boring, and then it had a slightly less phenomenal rally last cycle, and then it's been boring again, but still maintaining itself, right, at these prices. I feel like it's irrelevant. I feel like it's a big nothing burger now, man. It's not going to matter. So personally, You've been accumulating for a long time. I'm sure whenever it does come time to break out, you're going to have a phenomenal breakout. I'm just skeptical if you see anything that goes past last cycle's high. So that's just my genuine interpretation of this thing right now. Looking at it, I certainly do believe you'll go higher. I certainly do believe that you will see prices above $4. I'm not 100% sure what's in store for you after that, right? Your weekly RSI does look bullish. I will say that it does look bullish. It does look like you're winding up, and you're definitely ready for some kind of big move. I think so. It's just, you know, how far does it go? How long does it persist? Like, it'll be nice for anyone who's holding it now, but would it pay off for anybody that's been holding it, you know, since last cycle's high, since this cycle's low, since, you know, for however long? I don't know. I don't know how high this thing's going to go. So instead of scratching my head too much longer, I'm just going to say I feel very confident it's going to move up from here. I feel very confident if you put your money in here, you're probably going to see prices above $4. I just don't feel too much more confident on anything that's like, you know, between like 840 to 1190. That might be your top zone, right? I'm not confident that you break through that zone, right? I'm not even fully confident that you get to that zone. I am very confident you get to your 61869, right? Much past that, it just loses confidence as we get further away. That doesn't mean this isn't possible, right? I wouldn't bet on it, and I wouldn't bet against it, but I don't know, right? So based on its market cap, before we move on to the next thing here, based on its market cap, if it were to go all the way up to that 1618, the high extension, right, in this expected zone, it's at 153, almost $153.50 there. That'd be a 173x. You could do that. You could do that, right? The market cap would allow for that, right? Will you do that is another question. I don't know enough about Nano, right? Anybody who's looking to invest in this or who's hearing me say I doubt it sees new highs this cycle, but you're like, dude, of course it's going to see new highs. It's doing this, that. I don't know about this, that. I don't know the fundamentals. I just know the charts, and I know average cryptos. And average cryptos, this is what they do. They get lower highs and lower highs cycle after cycle, and they fizzle out into nothing, right? So I'm just going based off of that. If there is something that's underlying that's fundamentally driving this thing to higher prices that I'm unaware of, okay, cool, fine, I accept that. But as of right now, I'm not saying I think it's going to shit. I'm just not saying it's going to rip. I think a standard retracement from this point here to this point here is a good call. We're at the base of this range right now, so it makes sense we would go up. The weekly RSI looks strong. The monthly looks postured enough to go up. Monthly RSIs are weird, but your price action too, it would make sense that you're going up. So that's that. I spent a lot of time on that without really giving too much. So let's move on. Blue Zell for Grady Scott. Blue Zell's the next one. Talk about it on Binance here. Here's another one, right, that came back in that 2017, 2018 era. I swear this came out in 2017, but maybe it was early 2018. I can't remember. Lower highs, yet dramatically higher lows, right? Where this one, Nano, it's somewhat slightly higher lows, but Blue Zell, bro, dramatically higher lows. And it doesn't look like it on this chart, right? It looks like there's less volume now than there was back here, but this is just the USD chart. If you go to the USDT chart, I have to do this first, right? The reason we're using this chart is it has all this history. The USDT chart does not have all of that history, right? It's missing some. It stops back in August of 2020, whereas this chart goes all the way back to February of 2018, okay? So it's missing some stuff. On this chart, the most amount of volume we see here is coming out of the lows, right? Coming out of the lows, moving up here to last cycle's highs, right? That volume that we saw on a month-to-month basis, that was the most volume we saw, was at about 1.34 billion. 1.34 billion. Now, on the USDT chart, if I can just seamlessly pull it up, the most volume we've seen on this chart, which again doesn't go back to February 2018, it only goes back to August, was here. Here's the most volume. And that volume, what it says over here, is 7.986 billion. That's a lot more. 7.986 is a lot more than 1.34, right? So all I'm trying to say, getting back to the task at hand here, is this isn't a slightly higher low. It's a dramatically higher low, okay? This is a slightly lower high with a dramatically higher low. Consolidation phase, not a downtrend, not an uptrend, consolidation, right? When it breaks, it's going to be phenomenal. I can tell you, man, when you're in a multi-cycle consolidation phase and it breaks, it's probably going to be phenomenal. It's probably, and if it breaks down, yeah, phenomenal, but not in the way that we'd want it to be, but still a spectacular crash. If it breaks up, phenomenal, but in the exact way that we'd want it to be, right? I do think that we will break to the upside. I do think that this will continue on to new all-time highs that it's never seen before. I think that we will see prices that are worth several dollars, if not tens of dollars. It's worth 12.5 cents right now. A lot of volume. The most volume that this thing's experienced in its whole existence came in here on this significantly higher low, right? Here we are with our third high, right? And it's a lower high. It's the second lower high, right? Right in tandem with these here, okay? The only difference this time around, I think, is that we're not going to do this, right? We don't have more of this to go. I think we're about to move up. And if this moves up, this reminds me of Bitcoin Cash, man. If and when you break this line, I think it's go time. You're breaking a line that's been holding you down literally your whole life. You're breaking out of a phase of consolidation that you've been in your whole life, finally choosing the side you want to go up to. With more volume, and it doesn't show it on this chart again, but with more volume on this move than you've ever experienced, I think things are looking good, man. I think things are definitely looking good for Blue Zell. Finding support here at previous areas of resistance and previous areas of support and support here, right? Pretty key areas. Now you're finding support here, right? At previous areas of resistance, right here. Previous areas of resistance and support here, and resistance here and support here, right? Somewhat significant. Higher lows. We also, I want to see low to high here. Yeah, pulled back very near tier 618. The fact that you couldn't reach it, you went for it, but you couldn't reach it is actually a really bullish thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Haha. Didn't actually draw that properly. There we go, but we tipped it perfectly. That's still pretty bullish, right? The thing that I had drawn on there before, that's not so common, right? But it happens and it is a bullish thing, but don't let that take away. This is still very bullish, right? You respected the 618. I actually like this more. I like seeing respect on the 618. You respected it so well, man. Respected it so well. We're looking for you to get above the 382 now. When you get above that 382, because generally when you find support on the 618, you can find resistance at the 382 and move down. You can find resistance at the 0.5 and then move down. We don't want to see any of those things happen, right? It's okay if you find resistance here. You just don't want to move below the 618 afterwards, right? It's okay if you find resistance to the 382. You just don't want to go below the 618 afterwards. And ideally, not go below the 0.5 afterwards, right? It's okay if you find resistance there, but the more constructive we look afterwards is what we're looking for. Ideally, though, however it looks on our way up here, right? However it looks, when we get above the 382, which is at about 19.1 cents, when we get above there, that confirms that this is the low, and even more so, what that confirms to me, at least based on the fib perspective, is that we're good for a new high relative to this. If we're good for a new high relative to that high there, that means we're good for a breakout of this overall trend, are we not, right? We'd be good for that. If we're going to break out of this, I doubt that our next high is going to be right here, right? I doubt it's just going to be here. This multi-year, multi-cycle phase of consolidation we've been in, we're going to stop right here. I don't think so. I think it's going higher. And generally speaking, I would take the last cycle's high to the current cycle, bear cycle low, to measure where we would go for this cycle's high. But being that you're in a general overall consolidation phase here, I feel it's more appropriate or even acceptable to take the actual high of the range and the actual low of the range, which also just so happens to be the all-time high of this chart and the all-time low, which is significant on a whole level itself. The last cycle's high to low with the overall all-time high to the all-time low. This last cycle's 1618 golden extension matches up with the 1272, the minimum extension target for this here. So I feel very confident that Blue Zell is going to break above, probably even get very near to $4, okay? Break above $3, but get near to $4. The 1886 deep extension here on this range lines up very well with the 1414. Very key extension level right here. Very key extension level right here as well, right? And that's the deep extension, the 1886. The 2272 lining up on the 1618. You love seeing this. I love seeing this kind of symmetry, this congruence in the charts. I love seeing it, right? It doesn't mean that these targets have to happen, right? Like I bet if we go up higher, like look, all the way at $12,773, the 4618 lines up with this 2886. Or that, yeah, that's like, you know what I mean? Like it can line up with things and not have any significance to it at all. But it is nice to see, right? It does, to me, mean that we could really go somewhere in this zone. And that would make a lot of sense to me, right? The 1618 to the 2272, I like that based off last cycle's highs and lows. And then that in itself, you just move it over, you translate it to the left, it completely encapsulates the expected zone, the standard primary expected extension zone of this overall fib. And that would make sense. You're going to see the expected zone of the larger fib. You're going to see the deeper extensions of the smaller fib. That's classic. I wonder if from this high to low, if we get any kind of similar targets. Look at that, 2272, very near here. That 325, 385 area is going to be pretty damn significant. 2886 lining up with the 1886, lining up with the 1414, 3618 lining up with the 1618, lining up with the 2272. Yeah, it is significant. I really do believe we're at 12.5 cents right now for Blue Zell. I should have made a video just for Blue Zell, man, but I very much do believe 380 is its minimum target, right? 385, and it genuinely could see $22. It genuinely could see beyond that. I don't doubt the potential, the capability of Blue Zell, right? We've got a lot of good things going for us right now. It's just when will it happen is the question. And to that, my answer is soon. It could be today. It could be next week. It certainly could be next month. But soon. Very, very soon. I would expect by the end of this year, by the end of 2024, we're above this high here. And when we're above that high, man, it's like I said, it's all starting, right? We're breaking out of this downtrend. When you get above that high, it's all starting there. So good time to buy, absolutely. Absolutely, it's a great time to buy. Man, this actually makes me want to buy some more Blue Zell. 12.5 cents right now. Bullish divergence on the weekly. It's played out already, to be fair, but looking kind of constructive on your weekly RSI. Very productive on your daily RSI. I love that you're getting overbought, but you're not getting oversold. I would love to see this thing continue to move up, right? Hold these higher lows and just continue to move up. Get overbought again, right? Show some strength. Volume's coming in. That's nice, right? Let's get some volume to come in on the moves up, actually. So, yeah. A lot of volume came in on the low. That's kind of weird, but whatever. Anyways, spent a lot of time on that one without really giving too much of a short-term analysis. 12.56 cents right now. I think you're going to see 17.8 cents to 20 cents soon. Like, certainly by the end of this month, but potentially within the next 2 weeks. That's my thoughts. Okay, so that's Blue Zell. Maybe even by the end of this week here, but let's move on to Compound. We're going to talk about the all-time highs for the determined here. Compound on Coinbase, sure. Right, all-time high projections for Compound. We're at 45 bucks right now. From a high, all-time high, I believe, to the low that we've just had this cycle. Is that the all-time low? I'm not 100% sure. I should probably take this low. That's the fake out low. You know, the all-time high projected targets would be anywhere from $2,400 to $8,200, okay? Again, it remains to be seen if we do see new all-time highs. I do expect that we will with Compound, but we might not. If we don't, maybe we stop at 230. Maybe we stop at 610. Somewhere in that zone is a genuine possibility, right? This thing could see lower highs by the end of the cycle. I don't think it will, but it's hard to say. Kind of like XNO, right? It's been doing a lot of nothing this cycle, right? It's very hard to say. At least with this, it's a little bit newer. We don't have lower highs cycle after cycle, right? But again, it's hard to say. Just because it's new doesn't mean that it needs to see or it gets to see all-time highs. It's not how it works. But I do think it will. I think that it will see $2,400 to $8,200 by the end of the cycle. I know that was your main question. My reason for believing that, I just think Compound's a good coin. I think that it is what's the word I'm looking for? Like underestimated, undervalued. Those are good words, but that's not the word I'm looking for. That's not the term. Kind of like underestimated. I don't know. I think it's got more going for it than meets the eye. And whenever that becomes public knowledge, I think it'll really get some hype behind it and start to pump. I mean, it's DeFi. It's not DeFi though, and that's my one kind of issue with Compound is that to me it seems like it tries to be this DeFi project, but really it's not DeFi. It's centralized. It is very centralized. But whatever, like it's crypto. I don't know, man. It's CeFi. It's crypto finance. I don't know. But I think there's a place for it. I do think there's a place for it. And I think when it comes to crypto, this is one of the more, in my opinion, like one of the more practical use cases for today. Like you don't need this whole layer of implementation or a foundation to set this kind of stuff up. You can do this right now if you just have the proper formulas and the proper cryptos to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like you don't need this whole infrastructure to allow Compound to operate and work, right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but like there's cryptos that want to integrate with banks. There's cryptos that want to integrate with the medical field, with farms, right? That'll take a lot of infrastructure to lay out, right? Not that Compound or DeFi coins or any kind of finance coin and crypto can't work with banks and stuff like that. They can. That if they're going to work with banks or any kind of authority, that's going to take some groundwork too. With Compound, right? Lending, borrowing, staking, all that stuff, you can just do that at any point in time. You don't need a banker, you don't need a credit score, and that's why I think coins like this are really going to do well, guys, is I think it's going to get rid of credit. Everybody in the world needs credit to get a loan. Crypto is going to take that away. You're not going to need credit anymore, and maybe there will be some kind of credit in crypto. Maybe I don't know how that would work, but maybe that carries over and you apply your crypto credit to get a better rate of loans or not, but I don't see how that would matter in a decentralized kind of format. All I'm trying to say here is that what Compound is about is what makes me think that it has the potential to see these targets, right? To me, finance is one of the most practical and readily usable applications, depending on how intense you want to go in crypto. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how to word it better. I know I have a funny way with words, but all in all, that's my prediction. 2,400, 82.32 by the end of the cycle. The market cap checks out. Compound's not that high, right? What are you at, Compound? You're at 395 million. Respectable, right? Nothing crazy. Fully diluted valuation, 450 million. What is that? What is that release like? When do those come out? I think it's... Are they continuously coming out now? Do we have the tokenomics? We do have the tokenomics. Okay, that's good. No, we don't. CoinGecko deleted them. Where are the tokenomics, CoinGecko? Give them to me, baby. Liquidity mining. Okay, there we go. That's nice. Founders team, shareholders, future team members, community. Okay, so I mean, it's whatever. But does it get unlocked? Are any of them locked? Total value locked. Aha. How does it have 1.9 billion locked? Is that because of their lending and stuff? I don't know. I'm getting on things that I'm not so well versed in, so I'm gonna dial it back to the TA. I was trying to get an answer that I couldn't find, so that's okay. But I was trying to see, like, of these coins that aren't circulated, where they are, like what they're locked up, but like I can't really find that here. Oh, here we go. Supply schedule. There we go. Liquidity mining and users, shareholders. So that stays the same. Founders and teams, so they get unlocks until... Okay, so their unlocks are done. Really, the only inflation at this point... Why does it not show past June? I don't know. I would have to do more fundamental analysis. I'm not going to do that here. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting all caught up. But long story short, okay, the maximum potential would be 184x. 184x on a $395 million market cap, about a $400 million market cap. That's doable. You can see that, right? That'd be tens of billions of dollars. A very strong accomplishment, not an easy thing to do, but a thing that does happen every single cycle, right? Achieving tens of billions of dollars. I'm not saying I expect 8,200 to happen, especially with how underperformed Compound's been this whole cycle, right? I definitely believed in 8,200 a lot more back here when I thought we were going to break out here, right, and already be above $300 by this point. Less so now, but I certainly do believe 2,400 is a minimum target. We might stop at 4K. We could go all the way up here, but I'm just, we'll see how it happens whenever we get there. But this target zone is still on the table, just to make that very clear, right? Weekly RSI looks fine. We're just waiting on it, guys. It's wound up. It's ready. It's the same analysis here as it was here, as really as it should have been this whole time. We're just waiting. Waiting on a moment where we actually break out. And unfortunately, we're not going to get excited for the breakout to happen until the price is above like 90 bucks. Okay. Here we are at 45 now. So we got about 100% of the way to go before we can even get excited. So that's Compound. I hold a good bag of Compound. I definitely believe in it. I definitely think that it has potential to grow. It just needs to do it. And that's about it, man. It just needs to do it. So let's move on from Compound. Talk about Jupiter. Tetherus. This one's at the request of Flower Child. We're doing this for you. And Mr. Hat and Flower Child, I'm aware you guys had other requests too. I'm going to give those their own videos because I feel like they're relative cryptos. They're popular cryptos, right? Things of discussion. So get more views and stuff, right? Let the channel grow by spreading those out. More focused videos on more popular coins. High to low here. 618 rejection, 069 support, 382 rejection. It's looking kind of constructive to the downside, I want to say. I don't like this, and I don't like this. I really don't. Crypto's bullish overall, right? Crypto's bullish overall. I don't like its posturing, though. Maybe I should take this high to this low. No, wait. That's what I just did. It's definitely not constructive, man. Let's look at the daily RSI instead of scratching our heads. A lot of these are honestly head scratchers. Okay, the daily RSI is more bullish than bearish, but it is neutral. The price action's been neutral, so that makes sense in itself, right? You're about to get above the 50. Normally when you get above the 50, it seems like that bodes well for immediate price growth. So nice, you probably are going to move up. I expect you move probably above this high here, if not around that high. If you're not going to stop around $1 or 90 cents, somewhere in that zone, likely you're going to stop at about $1.05 to $1.16 then, somewhere in that zone. But I do think you're moving up from here. I know you wanted me to go for all-time high predictions for Jupiter, and I'm not completely sure on it. I do know that a lot of people in crypto like Jupiter. I know that it has the backing, the belief, the hype, right? And that's a big deal. It's a very big deal. $1 billion right now. I don't think Jupiter's going to see $100 billion by the end of this cycle. It could see 20 billion. It could see 60 billion. That's the range of like genuine expectation that I have. Okay. 80 billion, past 60 billion is pushing it. Past 80 billion is really pushing it. The closer you get to 100 billion, the less likely it happens. I don't think you'll hit 100 billion. I certainly don't think you'll break above that. You're at 1 billion now. So a 20x to a 60x, I would say, is possible. Roughly a 20x to a 60x, okay? Possible does not mean it has to happen. But that would give Jupiter a price of about $16 at a minimum. By the end of this cycle, yes, that's what I'm calling for, right? Potentially as high as like 50 bucks. 16 to 50 bucks, right? Was that right? 16 to 50, I believe is what it was. Yeah, 16 to 50. So that's pretty crazy. But you know, we don't have a whole lot of historical data to go off of, so don't hold me to that, right? This is not based off of any technical analysis at all. My predictions, right? It's not based off of technical analysis, literally at all. Zero technical analysis there. It's just math. It's just math in what I would think would be an acceptable market cap for something like Jupiter. You know, let's do this. Solana. We'll compare Jupiter to Solana, right? Because Solana and Jupiter are they're probably the most popular means of exchanging DEX coins right now, right? Jupiter and Solana, right? Phantom too, right? And, you know, ETH, of course, as well. But Solana, last cycle, go to not markets, sorry. I meant to click on market cap. Go to max, go to log. Last cycle, Solana topped off at $75 billion, and that was its first cycle. It's a great accomplishment, man. 75, and maybe it was 80, maybe, you know, like at its true high, whatever, I don't know, but somewhere around 75, $80 billion where it topped off. Does Jupiter have the same potential Solana does? Yes, I think it does. I think maybe whenever I say that, I should say same potential as its first cycle. I don't know about lifetime. I feel like Solana has more potential than Jupiter. I don't know. Jupiter has a lot of potential too. It's just, will it be realized like Solana's was realized? I don't know. I'm skeptical, but it could be. I'm only skeptical because it's so new. All I'm trying to say is if Solana saw a $75 billion market cap, it couldn't hit 100. Do you think Jupiter's going to see $100 billion or more? Probably not, right? And most cryptos don't see $100 billion. Most cryptos don't even see $80 billion. Like Solana, really prominent, really popular, really hyped up crypto last cycle. It was way more hyped up last cycle than it is this cycle, and it's still pretty hyped this cycle, right? But only this cycle has it gotten above 80 billion. Only this cycle does it actually look like it's going to break that $100 billion barrier. It's taken 2 cycles of hype to do that, right? I don't think Jupiter has as much hype as Solana did last cycle. I think it sees a lot of use case, and that's why I think it will grow. I don't think it'll see as high of a market cap as Solana did last cycle, 75 billion. So I would assume something, yeah, 20 to 60 billion makes the most sense to me, a 20 to 60x. But maybe as high as a 75 billion, maybe I'm more accepting of that happening. But again, as you get closer to 80 billion, less likely. And as you get closer to 100 billion, it's just like I can't even fathom that. So not a lot of TA, just a lot of talking. I feel like that's how it's been with every single coin that I've talked about so far. Maybe we'll get into a coin that merits some actual TA here. Let's talk about FET for DKDKFU. FET, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, man. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. It did really well, actually. The merge was a success, at least it seems to be. Tipped the 382 above the 236. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there, man. I like that a lot. You can't tell me, I mean, what, is that a coincidence that you just tipped it like that? No, dude, that's perfect. It's perfect. It's very, very perfect. And what that tells me is that you're probably going to see new all-time highs, probably, right? You're at $1.53 right now. What is FET? What's it at right now? FETI, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. You guys need to change it to ASA or maybe just ASS. I don't know. $4 billion right now. Yeah, you can see those those levels. Yeah, I don't know. All in all, FET, you're probably moving up to 538, 938, and above that. I definitely think that you're on your way. I like that you found support at your 382 from your overall low to high here, that you found support there, and you're above the relative 236 there. So I definitely think that you're moving higher. I like that you're above the 382 here and finding support on it. You look very constructive. Weekly RSI looks fine. Daily RSI looks fine. Definitely looks like you want to move up right now. Immediate target, you're at $1.53. The immediate target that I'd look for is about $1.89 to $2.12, somewhere in this zone. Absolutely, I expect you find resistance in this zone. You've been stair-stepping your way up this whole time, right? So, hold on. Had to sneeze. So yes, I think you do go above the 618. I don't think you go above the 69. So above $1.89, yes, but below 212. I feel like that's very appropriate, somewhere in the range. If you do happen to go above the 69, something tells me you're not going to hit the 786. You would just like briefly go above the 69 and then come back down, because that's what you've been doing. But just something a little higher for the meantime is all I'm trying to guess. So that's FET. Let's go to Render. At the request of Nato Bell. Nato, and yes, DKDKFU. I know you got another request on there. Don't you? Don't you have another request? Let me see. It doesn't seem right. Where are we at? Yeah, you do. Okay. Render USD. But the other request that you have, DKDK, is good for its own video, right? It's a Bitcoin Cash request. Render on Coinbase, render on all-time history, a lot more history. We're going to use that instead. Wow, very bullish. Since 2020, is that really? Didn't it come out earlier than that? Was it really last cycle? Like mid-cycle? No, price max log. Back in 2020, yeah, okay. Yeah, very bullish chart. Very, very bullish chart for how young it is. One of the few charts in crypto that has new all-time highs already. So that's I think a testament in itself. I mean, if we compared this thing to Bitcoin, yeah, it's literally like demolishing Bitcoin, man. It is. Not many coins are worth more than Bitcoin right now. And maybe that's not fair. Maybe I should take it to like the beginning of this bull cycle. Yeah, it's crushing it, man. Bitcoin's up like 283% this cycle, or from the cycle low, right? The bear cycle low. This thing's up like almost 1,300%, crushing it. So that's awesome. Definitely bodes well for the things to come. I think that this thing is going to do very, very well. But anyways, render didn't have any specific requests. Let's see if we can move on. Oh, renders for Nato Bell, not DKDK. I don't know if I said that earlier, but this one's for you, Nato. I don't know if I got that confused or not, but I got it confused because of the FET and the BCH BTC thing. But anyways, come on now. From this high back in March of this year to the low that happened in August, render might be a good, dude. This might be a good like market indicator too for like when we bottom and when we top. These are very decisive looking highs and lows, right? Even more decisive than Bitcoin. That, you know, just saying, it might be something to pay attention to. It could be like a market leader. Kind of like Nvidia with stocks, right? If Nvidia is having a bad day, odds are most stocks are having a bad day. Anyways, flat top, ascending lows. You know what that means, right? We're crowding this until one day, boom, I'm gonna break through it. Gonna see some nice price reaction. Daily RSI looks bullish, definitely bullish. A little bit weird, but bullish, definitely, undeniably bullish there. Weekly RSI, bullish as hell for sure. What do we got here on this relative low to this discernible high? Reached for the 618, couldn't get there. I don't know if I like that. Maybe it's more like this one to this high. Let's see. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe this low. A little bit more respect. Hard to say. We won't worry about that too much. High. I want to look at this one again. High to low. It does seem like you're respecting it. I would say, yeah, your next target area is probably going to be $8 to $8.88. I think so. Right? I think when this breaks, you break this zone, you're probably going to make a nice run right up to here. You could go past it and go right up to your 786. That could happen as well. But something between like $8 to $10 is where you're going to go. You're at 559 right now, so that'll probably happen soon, right? A lot of the market I think is about to break out to the upside. So if not like this week, sometime this month, I think you're going to start moving up, right? I would say you're starting to move up this week probably, but through the end of this month, I would bet that you're not only above these highs, but probably close to that $8 to $10 area, right? If not in that area. So that's kind of the expectation by the end of the month. That's render. Moving on to the next one. INJ, injective. This one's at the request of Don Depanier. Injective. You wanted me to go over cycle all-time high predictions, right? INJ USD, do we have? Yes, we do. There we go. Another one that's seen new all-time highs. That's awesome. Back-to-backs. You know, this is one that I've heard of. I was more familiar with it, I think, last cycle. But I haven't heard a lot of it this cycle, and I'm wondering why. That's a bullish as hell-looking chart right there, man. Yeah, Don Depanier there, man. Looking good. Definitely looking good. Why is CoinGecko like this? They need to fix it, man. Is it me? Is it like my desktop? I don't understand why it glitches out like that. But $2 billion right now. What a shame. What a shame. No, that's great. $2 billion is great. I just wish it was at a lower market cap because I would definitely buy it, man. $2 billion. This is your second cycle. You do have the potential for a $100 billion market cap, even above that. You do. I think you do. Okay, especially being one of the handful of coins that's actually broken out to new all-time highs already. That's actually outperforming Bitcoin right now. I think you stand a chance, okay? That'd be a 50x, right, in overall growth, essentially. That'd put you like right around this 2272. And again, you can go above 100 billion. So maybe you could. Maybe. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying maybe you could see prices at $1,300. You're at $21 right now. I know that sounds crazy, but maybe you could. Right? Hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I'm just going to leave a little line right here. Okay, boom. This, to me, I don't know about what it looks like to you, but to me, this looks like bull flag, right? Type in bull flag on Google if you don't know what it is. Type in bull flag, look up images, right? It looks like this. Looks just like that, right? It's very perfect in shape and structure, right? The way you measure a bull flag is you take, or the measure move whenever it breaks out at least, you take the length of the pole, you put the base of the pole to the base of the flag, right? And this is your measure move. And that just so happens to be like right around that 2272 area right there, man. Right around, or I guess not. It's a log scale, so it looks actually a lot closer. Maybe you don't hit that 2272, but still, 560. Not quite 100 billion. I mean, but that'd be like what, a 28x from 2 billion. That's like nearly $60 billion. Definitely an accomplishment at any rate, right? I don't know. I could see that happening. It's right at your 200 level. I don't know. Generally speaking, when you break above the 1886, I don't expect that you hold the 200. I do expect you go to the 2272, but it has happened often enough times. I've seen it enough this cycle where this zone seems to be a target area. And I'm not just drawing that because this is here, right? That zone is generally a target area across various cryptos this cycle. It just happens to be the measure move of this, right? And a measure move is just that. It's a measure move. It's an idea. It doesn't mean you have to hit it. You could fall short. You could exceed it, right? It's just an idea. But how convenient that that idea lands in somewhat of a common area, honestly. But again, generally, I would expect the 2272 to be hit. But with this, all I'm getting to is I think at a minimum, Injective will see, I know that's what you're asking, it's all-time highs. Minimum of a $400 price, maximum of a let's say $1,400 price. Big range, I know, but you're at 21 bucks now, so bright future ahead for you, Don. I hope Injective does well for you. It's a very bullish monthly RSI bouncing off the 50 like that. This is one of the more bullish charts that we have right now. Going above and holding the 886 as support like this, hitting your 1272 and going to the 886 for support, classic. And it looks so good. Genuinely, you're going to make a move up to 170 in no time. Obviously, yes, I mean it. You're going to go higher, right? I think that you will go higher, but dude, this is like end of the year, sure, absolutely, but like it could happen sooner. Like it's gonna happen fast, right? This move up was fast. It seems fast on the chart. I mean, if you look at it, really, it took from December of 2022 until March 2024, to kind of come to full force there. It definitely took some time, but I'm just saying this from where you are now to this right here, 170, however long it takes to move up all the way to here, I'm expecting this move up to 170 to be very fast. That's all I'm trying to say. But definitely higher. This overall looks very productive. I definitely do think that you're moving higher. So that's Injective. I forget what the minimum target was. I think it was like 400 to 1400, right? Was what we said for the all-time highs. Don, I hope that helps. Yeah, I didn't know Injective looked so good, man. I might have to put some money in Injective, honestly. It's not bad returns for what we have left in the cycle. ONDO is the next one. ONDO, I like ONDO, man. Isn't ONDO another one that's existed longer? No? Is it new? Am I getting it confused with a different one? Let me see. ONDO. I think I am getting it confused with another one, maybe. Max. Yeah, 2024. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting it confused. Unless it existed, it wasn't available as a coin before 2024, maybe. But for some reason, I feel like I thought it was older. Anyways, let's move on. Let's not get caught up in the little details. ONDO, very new coin, lots of potential, probably $1 billion. So not, I mean, like that's great, but you know, a new coin being worth $1 billion, that really does limit the amount of growth that you have. You generally want to catch like a coin that sees a 20 to $60 billion market cap for its cycle high. You want to catch those coins when they're worth like 200 million, right? Or 500 million, or, you know, like in those areas. That's where you see the real crazy gains, right? Or lower. Of course, lower is always welcome. But yeah, I would say the same thing for this as what was it? Was it XNO? No. Was it FET? Was it Render? No. I can't remember. Was it Jupiter? Maybe it was Jupiter, right? Same kind of rule book. 20 billion to 60 billion probably is the most likely area that you'd go to. It's a big range, but 20 to 60 billion, you're a very new chart, okay? You're not going to see 100 billion. The closest you get to 100 billion is 80 billion or around there, maybe, okay? ONDO's talked about a lot. It's got some hype around it, right? It's not the most hyped coin, right? It's not quite at that level yet, but it could. Who knows? We don't know. Volume picking up as you're moving up, volume dying as you're moving down. It looks good. I think you want to do good things. Relative low to relative high. Holding the 0.5. You generally don't find significance on the 0.5, but when you do, you get significant moves generally. From its current price at a $1 billion market cap, I could see you seeing a price around $16. If not 16, then maybe like 45, right? Somewhere around there probably. If not 16, then around 45, somewhere in that range. You're at 75 cents right now. So $16 to $45 is nice, right, by the end of the cycle. You could go higher. You could. It's possible. But that 20 to $60 billion area, that's a nice kind of like, it's a very big range in itself, but that's a nice area for most coins in their first cycle. For a coin like ONDO, I might even up it. I might even say like a 40 to a $60 billion market cap. You know, maybe it sees like 30 to $45, something like that. But it's so hard to say, man. It's such a new, it's just guessing. Whenever you're going for the all-time highs on a chart that hasn't really even been around for a full cycle, it's hard. It's really hard to guess, man. It's just, it literally is just guesswork. So even if I do my best work, even if I spent 15 minutes, 15 hours doing research, trying to get the best determinate outcome of what the all-time high would be, it's just a guess at the end of the day. So my best guess without doing all the hard work would be something between 20 to $60 billion, maybe more refined 40 to 60 billion. So whatever corresponds with that, right? ONDO, it's not fully diluted. That's a bit of an issue. So while yes, it might top off at a 40 to $60 billion, it might even see higher than that. That might not reflect in the same percentage growth for your price. Because if you're diluting, I wonder, like, right, this is what your price looks like. What's your market cap look like? Okay, that's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay. But I don't know what it'll look like going forward, right? We still have probably like 6 months to a year left of a bull cycle. So hard to say, but that's ONDO. Okay. Joe BODEN is the next one. Joe BODEN. By the way, shout out to the Jesus people, man. They are looking frisky. Jesus coin, man. Looking good, you guys. If you're looking for a random meme coin that's low market cap to get into, throw $100 in it. Have some fun, whatever, you know. Hop on the Jesus train. I did. I don't regret it. It was very fun. It's been very fun. It's been very boring, to be completely fair, since December last year. But we're about to rectify that. BODEN. At the request of Daniel Walsh. Daniel, you were saying that it's been boring. Probably a dead coin, but wanted to check on it anyways. It's a dead coin, man, right? You can see it. Death in volume, death in price action. A little bit of volume came back up. Where'd you top? Where'd you top off at? Where'd you close your day? Previous areas of support back here, right? All you did was you back tested previous areas of support. You found resistance on it. That's not a good look, man. It's not a good look at all. Joe Biden's dead, man. I did hear, and I was hearing people talk about it today, that Biden right now has a higher approval rating than Kamala does, right? Because of all these Kamala, just all the lies, man, that she gets caught in, right? And if you're one of those people who likes Kamala, right? I like you. I'm not trying to start a fight or a war, right? I don't care, right? I wanted to vote for RFK. I didn't want to vote for Trump. I'm certainly not voting for Kamala. I am going to vote for Trump, right? Who cares, right? We can be friends. But at this point, my friend, whoever you are, if you like Kamala, and if you don't like Kamala, this is for you to hear too. But she's literally been caught lying, right? Like, I know the media is trying to spin it like Donald Trump lies, blah, blah, and maybe he's lied about some stuff, right? Maybe he's been caught on lies and, like, not told the whole truth about some things here and there, right, throughout his career. But Kamala literally lies about everything. She's literally a false chameleon of a person, right? It doesn't make sense to me. And the only reason I'm getting caught up on this is that I'm trying to come up with this narrative here, and I heard it earlier today, that Biden has a higher approval rating than Kamala. The original reason why the coup, as people are calling it, right, while the conspiracy theorists are calling it a coup, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, really. I think it might be reality, that Biden got tossed out of the race and they just supplemented Kamala in there without really any backing at all. They just threw her in there. I mean, all the backing, but not the backing of the people, just the backing of the political constituents. Apparently, right now, Biden has a higher approval rating than Kamala, right? So, if Biden somehow got put back in the race or somehow was able to be on the ballots, is he on the ballots? I don't know. Like, would he be on the ballots for the election? If something like that happened, if there's a resurrection of Biden as the realistic Democratic presidential candidate, this coin could get some serious vibrance to it, some serious life. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think it's dead. I think it's irrelevant. But I painted that whole pretty story because there's some hopium for you, right? There's your daily dose of hopium. Anybody that bought back in this, RIP, man. Rest in pieces. Absolute smithereens. It's probably never going to go back to those levels again. That's my thoughts. The only way that I would see you resurrecting and going high is if Joe Biden resurrected himself, right? But he's not, man. He's done. He's out. He's going to become irrelevant. He's a president that his time has come. He's done. That's that, basically, right? But again, you never know. I don't know. There's some theories out there that Biden and Kamala might not be too friendly toward each other. So if there was the potential for him to jump back in the race or have a shot at winning the election, I could see him doing that. But other than that, I just see no other narrative that would cause this coin to pump. So hard to say. I'm getting caught up in a bunch of different stuff. I hate talking about politics, man, because it's just such a dark rabbit hole, a dark, deep rabbit hole that you can go into. And I'm not really talking about politics even, right? I'm like scratching the surface. Not even. I'm trying to avoid scratching it, right? And that's just a little show of how much I love talking about politics, I guess. Costco hot dogs, right? That's what we're talking about next. This is for Marco Izquierdo. Marcos Izquierdo. We're talking about this for you. Cost. I don't know if anybody has watched that Candace Owens podcast recently, but she's saying that Kamala's lying about her heritage, right? And obviously, a lot of people have been saying that, right? But like, she's got proof. Yeah, she's got like proof, like marriage certificates, death certificates, birth certificates of the people she's saying are her family members, but they died before she ever actually met them, and yet she's got pictures saying, oh, this is me and my grandma, but her grandma, at least as far as we know, from what we can tell by actual records, died 4 years before Kamala was ever born. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, there's some stuff. Kamala's a liar, you guys. She is a liar. She's an absolute liar. If you're a Democrat, you can't consciously, like, be 100% about her. Maybe you can be about her because she's a Democrat and she's not Donald Trump. Okay, I can get behind that. You hate Donald Trump so much, you like Kamala. Okay, I can understand that. You can't tell me she's not full of shit, man. She's absolutely full of shit, right? It's like I can, like, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's get on. Let's get on. Let's keep moving on, man. Okay. Let's not do that, right? From a high to a low, Costco cost hot dogs, high to low. Looks like it's looks like your Costco hot dog is only going to get cheaper. So screw inflation. We're dropping the price on Costco hot dogs. You thought $1 was expensive? We're gonna drop it to a cent, baby. It's going nowhere fast. Death. Stay away from this one. Not worth it. Marcos, terrible. Stick with CKML, man. I don't like this one. Not even worth doing analysis on, honestly. Just like BODEN. Man, BODEN really set me back, didn't it? I got caught up talking about things. Phantom FTM. Phantom FTM, Binance Dollar. Wow, that's a lot of color. At the request of Mohammed El Mensi, you're talking about the neckline back at 50-something cents, right? Are we going to go back there? You asked me this like weeks ago, though, right? So it's, but probably up here. No, I don't think we're going to go back to the neckline. I don't even know if that is. I guess that is an inverse head and shoulders there. No, I don't think you're going to go back to it. In fact, I think you're continuing higher. You moved up, consolidated. Now you're going to move higher. That's just my thoughts. Daily RSI looks really good. Weekly RSI, I'm sure, looks good. Yeah, it actually does. Looks very productive. Bullish divergence. Didn't even get oversold. Bounced off the oversold zone. Double bottom. Maybe not a bullish divergence, sorry. But double bottom nonetheless. Very bullish. Very, very bullish. I like it a lot. Wow, what is going on here? That was weird. Low, nope. Low to high. Low to high, man. 786 support. 618 closed below it, but then you got right back up above it. Up above your 382. I love that. Yes, I think that was your low. Yes, I think you're moving higher. Genuinely, I think that you are going to see you're about to rip up above this high here. You're at 66.4 cents. A move to $1.86, $3.18 is on the horizon for Phantom. Yes, absolutely. I think so. Yeah. Yep, that's what you're doing. You're on your way up there now, man. Relatively speaking, in the immediate short term, I would expect to move somewhere around like 88 cents to $1.04. That's what I would expect, right? A move to this 786, 886 zone. That's where you're going. Very short amount of time. By the end of this month, certainly. By the end of this month, man, you could be well above $1, like honestly. But certainly, I would expect that you interact with prices above 90 cents, potentially even above $1 by the end of this month, right? That's my thoughts. So that's Phantom. Let's move on from there. Open door, not OOs, open custody. That's right. That's what it was. Open custody protocol. Huh. Let's use KuCoin. KuCoin at 0.009198. Looking productive, relatively speaking. I don't like this chart. Do we have more? I want more. I'm getting more, oh so slightly each time. Is there a MEXC? Okay, so not a lot of historical references, right? Not the most. We're just going to use MEXC. That's okay. All-time high. Like, is that the right high to take low? I guess it's respecting it, so yeah, I would say so. Okay, yeah, you look good. You do. I think you want to move up from here. Talking about you're at 0.00929 right now, 9239. You're going to move up to about 2.19 cents to about 2.63 cents, somewhere around there. Yeah, that's my thoughts for open. Blur USD, Coinbase. Oh, and shout out, man, to anybody from North Carolina, specifically the zones that are being affected. You know, that I was very unaware of how serious these things are going on. You guys, I don't know where you are in the world, whoever's watching this, but there's some catastrophic stuff going on in my country right now, in North Carolina. There are, right now, it's like a reported 200, what is it, man? Hurricane Helene death toll. Come on. Wow, will it not just even pull it up? Why? Oh, it's because I didn't spell it properly. I didn't use the 2 R's. Hurricane Helene death toll, 227. Yesterday I saw 261 and 200, something between there, right? 227 seems to be the latest thing they're reporting. You guys, people on X.com, people who are actually in the area, real life people, they're saying that it's dramatically higher than that. Like the people who are actually there, I mean, there's some pretty crazy reports going on, man. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true, but from what it sounds like, it's very devastating what's happened over there. So this video, I don't normally like to talk about stuff like that. I try to stay away from like world events. Sorry. Sorry, my wife just texted me. That's why I got all distracted. But man, I feel really bad. It sounds bad. My heart goes out to all the people that are over there. I don't know, man. If anybody's from North Carolina in here, let me know in the comments, man. Like, just let me know where you are in North Carolina. I'm just curious, right? I want to give my love and show support to people if I can. So, Blur USD is at the request of Muhammad Al-Mensi as well. Sorry I got thrown off there, guys. My wife texted me something. I was in the middle of saying something too on like a sensitive topic, and I got to go check on something. I'll be right back. Okay, hold on, y'all. Oh, weirdest thing happened just now, you guys. Okay, I'm talking about floods and stuff. I got a flood going on in my bathroom, apparently. You guys, I don't know what happened. I wish I was live right now because it would be a lot more fun to interact with people. A bubble bath came up through my toilet. There are bubbles all over my floor in the bathroom, the master bathroom, and there are bubbles coming out of the toilet. I live in an apartment complex. I think somebody took a bubble bath and somehow we got it in our toilet. I know they've been messing with the pipes the past couple of weeks. When I say they, the maintenance people. I just wonder if they got it wrong. I've got bubbles coming. And when I say bubble, I mean like, guys, I walk in my bathroom, it smells like a bubble bath. It smells nice. It looks nice. I'm not confused. I'm not at all misconceited that this is toilet water that is all over my floor. I don't know how it happened, but it's all over my floor. So I got distracted. My wife texted me. She's like, what the hell happened in the bathroom? I'm like, what? I'm doing this, but like, it seemed like an emergency. So I went and checked, and dude, I wish I could like show you guys, but genuinely how I'm describing it is exactly what happened. You open up your toilet. There is a fluff of bubbles in the toilet bowl, and then around the toilet and basically covering half of my bathroom floor, a thin layer of bubble bath bubbles throughout the whole floor. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but anyways, blur. My flood is a lot worse than what's going on in North Carolina. That's for sure, man. I think it's crazy what's going on over there, you guys. It's really crazy. If you don't know what's going on, get on x.com and look into it, man. It's absurd. It's absurd, man. Anyways, high to low. Again, shout out, condolences, love to all the people in North Carolina, in Florida who are going through hardships because of all this stuff, man. Seriously, if you're one of those people, please make yourself known in the comments. Please reach out. High to low, you're at 22.6 cents right now. 23.7 cents is your 382. You found a little resistance there, right? Pulled back to your 236 area, but you couldn't quite get there. Daily RSI looks productive. Weekly RSI looks somewhat productive. Yeah, I think you're about to move up, man. I think you're at 22.6 cents. You're about to see a move that goes up to about 38 cents to 45 cents, 38 to 45 cents. So that's blur. DGB, Dell. I know, man. You were wondering if this is a lost cause or not. And I do think it is a lost cause. I do think Digibyte, unfortunately, and this might be preemptive, right? You look at Digibyte's overall history. It does have higher highs, cycle after cycle. It is still maintaining higher lows. It might be preemptive to say, but I think Digibyte, one of the great OGs, I think it's done, man. I do. It'll eventually fizzle into nothing. But before then, I do think you'll move up above this high. I do think you will cast a lower high, and then from there cast a lower low. So you're at 0.00676 right now. I wouldn't doubt that this thing sees a 10x from here, right? Something about like a 10x from here. And I'm just eyeballing it, but let's just see. High to low. 5 cents, 6.3 cents. So maybe not quite a 10x, but something, right? A little bit of something. And you could go higher. You could go all the way up to 12.4 cents. It's possible, but do I think it's dead? Not yet. I think it's on its last leg and then death, you know, but time will tell. Certainly, I do believe it's moving up from this zone. Like a lot of coins, right, that kind of look like this that have been boring all cycle, they're accumulating. I think it is about to break out and do some phenomenal things. But that might be its last spark of life, right, if that makes any sense. So just to keep it short and concise there, Don, because that was your kind of question, right? I'm going through some indigestion, guys. I had a lot of Mexican food earlier. Yeah, at the low of this accumulation phase, weekly RSI is not getting oversold. You got overbought. That's a nice sign in itself. You have been below the 50 for a while, which isn't ideal. So any day now, any week now, upside price action would be very much appreciated. You need to get out of this zone. You need to get moving up higher. But as of now, no. I don't think that Digibyte will see new all-time highs. I wouldn't say it's a lost cause because I think you'll see new highs relative to this cycle. But throughout its history for the rest of its life, yes, I think it will continue to generate lower lows and lower highs now forevermore. So still, though, a move up to come. But that's my thoughts on Digibyte. Very sad. I like Digibyte, man. I love all the Digibyte people. I really wish Digibyte did what I planned on it or what I predicted it to do at the beginning of this cycle, you know, back here, which was that it would see prices above this. You might even go as high as $3, right? Stuff like that. But now I'm skeptical if you even go to like 10 cents, right? You know, like it just happens, and you gotta admit it, man. You know, you gotta admit it whenever it happens or whenever you see it. VELO USD here, at the request of Demila. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm trying though. Demila. All right. Anyways, high to low here. High to low on VELO. That was not the high. We're going to get the high. We're going to get that high. 382.236. Nice move. You're consolidating around the 382 right now. I think you're going to move up to the 61869 in no time. 11 to 18.6 cents, essentially. You're at 1.47 cents right now. Weekly RSI, very strong, very nice. I like it. Yes. Yes. Looking good. Yeah, you're about to move up, man. 11 cents. 10.85 cents. to 18.6 cents, somewhere in that zone. That's where I think you're going, right? More immediately, you might go down first. I don't know. If you hold this 1.47 cent area, if you can hold this 1.42 cent area, I should say, then cool. But if not, maybe you go down to 1.2 cents. Maybe you go down here first and then up. Hard to say. If you go down, all I'm trying to say is I think inevitably you're going up, yes. But if you go down, minuscule amounts compared to the upside, okay? Don't get scared. If it goes down, it's okay. It'll go up, okay? VELO. SHX. Stronghold tether. This is one that I've heard some not good stuff actually from a friend of mine who I like to think is smarter than me in this stuff, right? You never know, right? Like I don't know. People call me an expert, man. I'm not an expert, right? I've been doing this for 8 years. I'm not going to deny how much experience I have, what I've done, and what I know. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a dummy, but I'm not an expert. You know what I mean? I don't, there's probably very few crypto experts, man. Crypto is so new. How can anybody be an expert, right? But there's some people out there that are. But I got a buddy that's telling me to stay away from Stronghold. There's some bad actors in it. I don't know. That's just what he said. And I trust his word whenever it comes to stuff like that. I don't know. We didn't get into it too much, but you know, like I just wonder right here. I'm just curious, right? And not that this is a strict determining factor of its success, but yeah, no tokenomics. Like, why not? Why can't I have your tokenomics, right? I don't know, man. I've just heard like whatever. It's all hearsay, so who knows? Really what you're doing right now, aside from the hearsay, aside from the nonsense, because it is nonsense at the end of the day, just hearsay. The chart is not nonsense. What we have in the chart at the end of the day is a very strong move up, finding support at the 382. This is classic when looking for higher prices, okay? Regardless of what people are saying about it or what people aren't saying about it, it looks good from a chart perspective. So I feel confident and comfortable in guessing that you're at 0.00476 right now, guessing that you'd go to 2.6 to 5 cents. That's your next target area. Absolutely, you could go beyond that. You could see 8.3 cents to 17 cents. It really could happen. So that's that. Let's move on from there. SHX, let's talk about NEO. NEO, at the request of Giovanni Mata Ramirez. We're doing this for you, Giovanni. One of the best names on the list tonight, man. Giovanni Mata Ramirez, man. I love that name. That's great. NEO. I remember NEO, man. Yeah. NEO, it's the... for those of you that don't know, I don't know if they still advertise it as this, but back here, right, in the good old days, they were saying it was the Chinese Ethereum. It was the Ethereum killer. It's the Chinese. Any crypto, this is what I've learned, right? And this is how you know crypto won't succeed. And no offense to the NEO people. When you're a name your coin killer, you're a Bitcoin killer, you're a Dogecoin killer, you're an Ethereum killer, you're the Solana killer. When you say that, when you put that in your name, you automatically have killed yourself. You automatically are irrelevant. Maybe for one cycle you're relevant, but that's it. Every coin that's been some kind of killer, and that's what like Shiba Inu, when they first came out, they're saying they're the Dogecoin killer. That was the thing. That was the hook for everybody. That's why a lot of people, a lot of novices got in because they're like, oh, this is going to be better than Dogecoin? Oh, let's get into, you know, like a lot of people they just heard that and they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to get in, right? How impressionable people are. But Shiba has always been Dogecoin's little duckling, right? It's always followed Dogecoin. It is literally obligated to only move up when Dogecoin moves up, and it moves down more when Dogecoin moves down. Like it follows Dogecoin. Any coin that wants to be a blah blah killer, it ends up being a follower of that coin, and oftentimes at a more extreme level, like to the downside, right? So just saying that's kind of like a good rule of thumb, I think, for any crypto out there, right? If you're if you're looking at a coin and you're like, oh, this is supposed to be the avalanche killer, well, don't get so excited over that, right? You'll be like, oh, okay, so this is a wannabe, it's a poser, it might do really good for a second and then it'll do nothing again for the rest of its life, right? No offense to the Neo people again, right? Technically, what you do have are lower highs and higher lows. I'm just saying that because I wonder what the Neo, the developers. I don't know anything about the fundamentals with Neo, if there are developers or not still, but the team behind Neo, I wonder if they're still trying to be the Ethereum killer. I bet they're not. They don't advertise as that anymore, but I just think it's funny, right? From such non-humble beginnings to so humble now, right? Probably. Anyways, consolidating. Yes, it is consolidating. The last time you were in this zone, I mean, you moved up to about $138. You're at $10 now, so I think you got a 10x in the bag. Maybe not a 10x. Maybe you only do like a 7x or an 8x, but something, something up around probably like $70 to $120, somewhere in that zone. A lower high is what I would expect. Maybe you can see new all-time highs. I doubt it, but maybe you could. I would expect that you go probably anywhere between about 86 bucks to 45 bucks. That's my prediction, right, by the end of this cycle. Certainly, I do believe you move up from here. I'm just skeptical, right? If you were to move up above 126, okay, if you get any month that closes above 126, I would change my opinion immediately and say you are going to see new all-time highs. You'd go between $550 to $2,000. I just don't believe that's going to happen now. That's just my perspective. Anyways, that's Neo. SUI for Tigger. Sui. Moving up, having a great time, aren't you, Sui? I love that, man. A lot of volume. From an all-time high to the relative low that you just had, up above your 886. Yeah, man, it's just a matter of time. You're at $1.89 right now. You're moving up to 332, 570. That's happening. Like by the end of the year, certainly, but maybe by the end of this month you're at 332. I don't know, but you're in the midst of that move now. Don't be sad, and don't be discouraged if you go below the 886 this week, right? You didn't actually close above you did close above the 886 last week, but just barely. If you look at the weekly RSI, you are overbought. You look at the daily RSI, you do have bearish divergence presenting itself, though I don't think it's technically confirmed until you get a red day. I don't know, man. I'm trying to come up with a bearish narrative for you to reject here, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think you're about to go, bro. I genuinely, like, this month, yes, you're at $1.89 this month. I do. I'm going from hesitant to quite confident that SWI's going to be above 332. Like, maybe not even by the end of this month, maybe by the end of like next week, man. Like it's going there now. It looks like it wants to. So good job, SWI. SWI might be the winner. Tigger, you might be the winner tonight, man. I'm just gonna say we got two more to talk about, AERO and then WorldCoin, so we'll know. But it's looking good for SWI. Aerodrome looking like it's in the middle of a breakout move, bro. Looking good. High to low, getting above that 618, holding above the 618. Nice, man. Yeah, I think you're moving up too. 121 right now. You're gonna move up to $1.62 to $1.94, probably soon. And then we'll talk about these 386 to $715 price target areas. But yeah, that's the zone right now. Aerodrome. Looking frisky, man. Looking very frisky. Yeah, I think so. I think it wants to move up immediately. That was for Ralph Webb. WorldCoin for Dimitri, and then we're going to finish it up. WLD for Binance here. Sorry, guys. I was just talking to my wife, checking on the whole bathroom foam situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you skip through that. You're just doing the timestamps. Don't worry about it, man. But we're at $2 right now, from a high to a low, right below your 236. Yeah, WorldCoin's one of those coins that I don't think it'll see new all-time highs, right? I think WorldCoin, what they're trying to set up to do as a crypto, as a program, as a software, as a project, WorldCoin, I think it's interesting. I just don't think that what they're setting out to be is going to be the one. It's going to be the thing, right? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. All I'm trying to say is I don't know if this thing has enough hype to generate new all-time highs, okay? Is there more history? Am I missing it? No, I don't know. Maybe it does see new all-time highs. Sorry, I thought I was looking at the monthly. I thought this was last cycle's highs. Maybe you do see new all-time highs. I'm sorry, guys. I take it back. I know, I'm so confusing. You're at $2 now. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe you see 22 bucks. Maybe you see 47, 48 bucks by the end of the cycle. Maybe you go higher. It's possible. But for now, let's focus on prices. You're at $2. Let's focus on prices around $3, okay? That's my genuine expectation. And with that, I leave you, okay? That's the end of the video. Undeniably, Swee, Tigger, you got the win on this one, so congratulations to Tigger. Everybody clap for Tigger. Good job, good job. And yeah, man, that one looks like if I had to put money in any of these coins and feel confident in which one would go up the most in the shortest amount of time, Swee takes the cake on that, like hands down, absolutely. Blue Zell, by the way, Brady Scott, Blue Zell, definitely an honorable mention in there. I think FET and Render also look pretty good. Nato Bell and DK Fu, but absolutely, undeniably, Swee is the top dog. So with that, I'll leave you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.